I want to have a look at the East-West Regional Cycleway, particularly Heath Street, or is this Henry Street? No, it's Henry Street, and compare what it looks like to the safe active streets they've been building in Perth. Now, here's the detailed plans for one in Netherlands, and let's just spend a minute having a look at a couple of these plans and look at all the detail that's on these. Now, the red area is the road where it's been resurfaced in red asphalt. And you can see the kind of dark grey areas are intersections where they've built up the intersections as like a big pad. It's just one big speed hump. The green areas are where they've built out islands to slow down traffic and make sure people don't cut the corners. And the light grey areas are parking. So you can see that the road width has been reduced to about 4.5 metres, which means that if drivers want to pass each other in either direction, they've really got to slow down, and one of them would actually have to move into the parking lane to let the other one go by. And what that does is it really slows people down to 30 kilometres an hour. Let's have a look at what the Henry Street plans are. Well, essentially you get a raised intersection at the far end. It's not like this. There's no resurfacing of the road. There's no narrowing of the road with red asphalt. There's no islands that are built out. And as we look further along, there's kind of speed humpy things at the intersections and speed humps in between. But then there's nothing. Like when we get to 5 Dock Public School, where you'd expect speeds to be the absolute slowest of the lot because you've got kids crossing the road, there's nothing. Now, why is this important? Well, this was shot over in Strathfield, and you can see there's some speed humps here. And I had a particularly aggressive driver behind me who was wanted to go really fast, and the speed humps just really didn't have much impact on them. Like, I'm going downhill at a reasonable clip here, and look at them. They're just taking off, right? Then they brake over the speed hump, and then they just floor it, and watch how quickly they disappear from view. Remember, this is a 50 km/h zone, and I'll be coming down here at about 30 or 40 k's. They're off doing 70 or 80. So it just shows that speed humps alone are not sufficient to slow down drivers in between the humps. You need more engineering to narrow the road and other kind of stuff to make them stick to 30 kilometres an hour in that gap. Now, one of the problems here with Henry Street is I don't think council's keen on lowering the speed here to 30 kilometres an hour end to end, even though it should be. I mean, look at how narrow this is. You've got residents having to park their cars on the footpath, which means if you want to get past pushing a pram or get a wheelchair or you get a shopping trolley or something, good luck with that. You're going to have to go on the road. Even when kids are riding to school next year, there's going to be some parents that are going to be pretty antsy about having their kids on the road, and they're going to want them to scooter or ride on the footpath. Well, how are they going to get past all those parked cars? Let's just have a look at the gap that's been left here. Yeah, I can squeeze through without bashing the mirror off. That's not too bad, but why's the footpath been left so narrow? This is what I don't get. Spending, there's a $7 million budget for this project, and we're getting a couple of lousy speed humps and a bit of concrete here and there. Having looked at what they're doing in Perth, you would think that what you'd want to do here is narrow the entire street, build out the footpaths, provide some proper parking bays, maybe redo the centre strip of the street in red asphalt to make it quite clear what's going on. And look at this, the gap between that wall and the power pole. And again, there's another one up there. It's not real good. I mean, it just shows how much emphasis is put on providing road space to drivers and how little emphasis is put on providing road space to pedestrians. Yeah, good luck if you're an old person on a Zimmer frame or a wheelie walker or something trying to get through there. I would have just redone the whole streetscape. And that's why I put up those plans from Netherlands like this, which showed that they essentially erased the street and started again, and just redid the whole thing end to end, and really did a good job on it. Now, let's have a look at the sight lines. I've stopped about where a driver's head would be, and would you be able to see cyclists coming from the right there with parked cars? Well, hopefully they wouldn't be coming too fast. And, I stopped there for quite some time and obviously had a very good look. But how many drivers are just going to, not even stop, just slow down and then take off. Again, there's islands they've put in. Interestingly, the plans seem to show the islands extending a fair way down the side streets, but that doesn't seem to be how they've been built. The ramp is right at the edge of the intersection rather than some way back. And again, what they did in Perth is they pushed that ramp a fair way back. And there's also nothing stenciled on the pavement there as you approach that intersection to say stop. You'd think that they'd put something there and make it blatantly obvious that drivers coming from those side streets have to stop. I don't get it. Now along here again, there's no narrowing. Here's a school. You'd think again there'd be a great emphasis on lowering the speed here to 30, or at least 40. It's a school zone, so build it to only allow people to drive through at 40, because I can tell you people go through here a lot faster than that. And on this section here, there's really just nothing happening. Again, it's, because of the parking, the road really narrows down, and you'd think speed limits would be, not 40, not 50, but 30 through here to at least stop people having their wing mirrors smashed off and their cars damaged by idiot drivers that go screaming through too fast. But no, nothing. So there just seems to be a lack of imagination, unfortunately, from the top to bottom at council. And look, I don't think it's malicious. I don't blame anyone. It's like asking someone who's blind to paint in colours. You can't ask people to visualize something that they've never seen for themselves. And look, I've seen this. I've ridden along it, a dozen times, and I know what this is. And look, I hate to suggest that we should be spending council money on junkets, but yeah, I think we need to send the mayor and some councillors and general manager and chief executive and engineering staff over to Perth for a week, stick them on bikes and let them talk to local council people and the equivalent of the RMS over there, the Main Roads Department, about these kind of projects and these designs, and get an idea of what a world-class design looks like. Because what they're building in Perth, I would give an A. What we're building here in 5 Dock, I'd give, it's barely a pass. It's like a C minus. Not even that. It's probably a D. It's a start. It's a good start, but there's just so much lost potential here. It just it just grinds my gears. It's just, why are we spending all this money and not getting full value for it? That's what I think. So possibly it's an issue of capacity and capability. You're asking councillors and road engineers and that kind of stuff who they've spent their careers building roads and footpaths, and now you're asking them to do something completely different that's outside the skill set. It's not something they'll train for at university or that they've picked up in their years on council. It requires a different mindset and a different skill set. And I don't think we have it. Again, you also have to ask about the contractors that are brought in to do this stuff. Well, have we seen anything like Perth being built in Sydney? And the answer, I think, is no. So we might need to look interstate for people to do these designs, rather than relying on people in New South Wales who, again, just haven't seen the outside world. They don't know what's out there. They don't know what's available. Anyway, that's food for thought. Obviously, I don't want us to go back and delay the opening of the East-West Cycleway again whilst this stuff is redesigned. But this really needs to be thought about for the future, and I think it's something that Transport for New South Wales needs to really think about as well.